how can we impact as many lives as possible? How can we give this power to people to say, you are enough, your story is powerful, and podcasting, media, this structure to market your business, because marketing is life.
Sugira, book me in. That's what they're going to be like. Because that's everyone's dream to have influence, right? Well, what is it that I'm trying to get across to people? So, I mean, your template's a little bit old, but it doesn't matter because your content's so good. We simplified podcasting. You can't do better than that. Okay, that's just so perfect. Even better would be we simplified podcasting for who? Okay, or we give you back your time, or we take the stress out of podcasting. So I help people work out, well, okay, what do you even mean by simplified podcasting? Okay, and then great picture. Hey, you're famous. There you are. That's great. Okay, that's a good picture. It speaks to it's authenticity. It's genuine because there's two blokes at a table and it's real, and they've got, it looks like an iPhone or something. Like it just does the job.
Mhm.
Uh, so my job is to come. Like you guys don't need my help. Let's be real. But my job is to come here and go, right, how do you demonstrate your skill set, of which it's obviously huge? Most people don't have that. Most people are like, hi, about us, pricing, book me, 10 reasons to choose me. You're like, no, show them what you can actually do. But also, you could take what you're doing to the next level. Like that thing, I wish it would wasn't there. So say this one here, what we offer. This is a bit sort of look at me, right? Whereas, you could change that to like, and again, why choosers? You could change that to look, if you're looking for a video editor, here's the 10 things you want to look at. One, do they speak English as a first language? Two, have they got at least 5 years track record doing it? Three, have they got this? And obviously, you will meet all 10 of those criteria. But the fact that you're putting that criteria out into the world shows people that you know your stuff.
Mhm.
So if I can show your business owners and leaders to stop, by the way, I'm not going to go into this level of depth with them, but because
Mhm.
they don't need this, it's just you live in this realm.
Mhm.
It's like if I can show them how to stop saying "look at me" and start actually giving helpful advice, you win the game. And so that's what I do. I help them to see how to connect with their audience. Things like our story. Nobody cares about your story because you haven't yet earned the right to tell your story. They don't know that they trust you yet.
Mhm.
Obviously, you need that there. That's
Mhm.
your about page. But they're not going to click on it and they don't care until you actually give them amazing advice. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So I can show
So,
your people how to become subject matter experts, and that's how.
so it's giving out that value, value, value.
It's giving out value in a form that it can be used. Okay, so my wife gives me these multivitamins. They're huge. I don't want to swallow them. Okay, if my wife gave me multivitamins in this tiny thing, and if they tasted like jelly, I'd eat them all day. Okay, and most people who go, "Oh, I've given value. Thanks for the multivitamin." I can hardly swallow that thing. Like, just package it in a way that people go, oh, it's value, but it's digestible. It's value, but it's the answer to a specific question that I have. It's value, but it's fun to engage with. And then suddenly you go from being average to being subject matter expert.
I love that. So if I was to say, what's Michael doing in 10 years? What's your big vision? What are you doing in 10 years? What's
Yep.
your legacy?
Okay, so that's a good question. And the reason people ask that is because they're like, all right, does Michael actually have a purpose or is he just a salesman? It's like in 10 years from now, my kids have left home. Okay, so they are flourishing in the world because I set them up well. My wife and I have more time together, so we're going out for dinner more often and being more focused on each other because we don't have our kids there. Okay, my friends who are having a hard time, they know that they can call Michael day, night, midnight. He doesn't care. Okay, and work wise, somehow I'll be doing something that contributes to families succeeding because you've noticed everything there's my family, family, family.
Mhm.
And it's like even my work, which is marketing, is for the purpose of freeing directors up so it's like Sugira, I cannot even tell you how many directors I know, managing directors, business owners, some of them want to call themselves, or ops managers. They're divorced and they're lonely as crap and they're working 55, 70 hours a week. And that's what I'm here to make a difference in. Does that make sense? Can I ask you the same question? Like, I can see you have a massive skill set. Like, what are you going to put them to use in? Like, what's your goal?
That's a great question. Our goal is, this might sound broad, but it's to impact as many lives as possible. Okay, what do I mean? Well, we live in a day and age where, Michael, we have distribution to the marketplace. There's no more gatekeepers. There's
That's
no more
right.
gatekeepers. So like we own media companies. We, with a phone, can have access to the whole world. So we don't take that lightly. And, we talk about legacy, like we're here to create that family legacy. The ones, our grandfather had this business, not in social media or
No, I'm with you.
marketing, but he had a business, all the way in Rwanda. From his village, he became a multimillionaire in Rwanda, in such a huge industry, which was the transportation industry, right?
Wow.
Back in those days. So it's like, we're bringing that last name here in the social media era, and so it's about how can we impact as many lives as possible? How can we give this power to people to say you are enough, your story is powerful, and podcasting, media, this structure to market your business because marketing is life. So it's like, the power of marketing is so profound in all of our lives, and it's like how can we use those powers to have your own propaganda. Everyone has their own propaganda in where they're trying to go. And so if we can be a vessel for anyone who's doing that, anyone who has a dream to build their empire, we're there. And so that's the vision is to impact the
That
people,
is so
CEOs,
cool.
entrepreneurs who want to do that.
Do you know what, Sugira? Normally, when someone tells me what their why is, I hear what their why is under what they're saying. Like that, they give the headline, and then you can hear, oh, it's because of. Your headline is your real thing. Like it is so transparent and so clear, and it makes so much sense, and it's so compelling. Okay, I think that's just amazing. I'm overjoyed. I'm really delighted to meet you. If the people you work for are half as fun to hang out with as you are, I'm in. Um, I just think what you're doing is important. What
Mhm.
is there anything I can do to help you outside of like one podcast? Like you obviously are trying to do something big. Like, how can I help you? Like, are there people I know who need what you do? Or like what can I do to support what you do?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm gonna ask you that after too. What I would say is, I mean, yes, in terms of we want to be able to help people who are building a legacy. So what do I mean by that? Like, yes, directors, CEOs who want to grow their business, who want to grow their empire and just need that, just the content side, right? When it
Yep.
comes to marketing, what we do, see someone like you, we would work well with because you do the Google ads, you do their marketing on the lead generation side, client acquisition side. But a lot of the times is they need the content because think about it, if they just have the content mixed with your being able to put them organically through Google Ads, and then, let's say Facebook and all of that, all of us win. So it's about, the people who kind of are lacking on the content area and who need authentic content. I think what makes us special is not just about marketing or but it's about getting that authentic content. That authentic content is, for example, what's going to happen with you and Anastasia, who's the podcast host. That's authentic content. You're going to sit down with her and have a conversation, and people are going to see your unique value proposition within 30, 40 minutes. And then that content is broken down in short form clips. So maybe there's some of your clients who have an issue just with that content. And I would always say, let's do it authentically, a sit down interview. And then now we could use that. You could use that, they could use that to now leverage whatever they're trying to do in, that authentic, because it's like, what's going to make you stand out from everyone else? And so I believe communication is everything. Communication, communication, communication. And so that's where I really believe yeah, we can get that help is finding, the people who need that mission and want to invest in the content.
That makes sense because most people, one, don't know how to do content, but two, even if they magically had that skill, they they are so average at running the business that they don't know how to create time to plant those seeds. Do you know what? Let's add you to my LinkedIn because
Mhm.
I I then more of your stuff's gonna jump on my feed. Um, when in the history of the world did someone reject one that said "you legend"? Okay, done. So all right, we're good. Fantastic. Well, more of your stuff's going to show up on my feed now, and over time, like I know people who need what you have, but they're not ready yet. They'll be ready in 3 months, 6 months.
Mhm.
I think just stay in contact. You don't. Let's be real. You don't need more leads. What you need is dream clients because you've already got plenty of leads. So if I come across someone who's a dream client, I'm thinking of like one in particular.
Mhm.
6 months time, he'd be exactly what you need. But I'll wait till he gets to that point. Awesome. Is there anything else you and I should work out today?
No, so what will happen from here? I'll put this forward to Anastasia. I really believe you. I like your energy as well. I'm not gonna lie. You're very straight to the point, fast, sharp. Like, look, time is of the essence. So I really, really love that about you. So we'll just kind of now you we'll look at your schedule and then we'll schedule a time, kind of like this. Anastasia is perfect as well. She's early morning, usually podcast, maybe 6:30. Once we get a date and a time, boom, gets put in your calendar. And then on that day, you have a podcast recording. We can send you information on her channel, her YouTube channel, her podcast, the people that she's had on, just so you can kind of get that background. And then you guys will be good to go. As she has like kind of guests lined up, yours like we'll book in a time, but it could be within a month or two, to three. But even if it's booked in now, at least you've got it ahead in the future, as she knocks out, because she does 1 a month with us. So yeah. How does that
I
sound?
really get that. Look, it'll make sense. I've got about six, I'm about six podcasts ahead on my podcast too. I get it. And you're like, we've had three girls, let's throw a bloke in. You know what I mean? I get it. You'll work it out. Or we've had three people talk about hard stuff. Let's throw someone in who'll be funny. I know what you mean about tweaking the order of things. Well, hats off to you, mate. Hats off to you. You just keep being you. I love it. I I mean, obviously, whatever she needs will adapt. She probably needs us to just to help people know the skill. Look, if there's one thing that I think should be on that podcast, it's the skill set of getting what you do out clearly into the market in a way that it's that jelly, not the really hard tablet. I think most people are yelling, "Look at me," instead of "Have this." Just have it, and that's not a revelation. It's just it's done by less than 2% of people. So probably around that, but we'll let her tell us what she wants and we'll make it happen. Thank you so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed
No.
meeting you.
No worries. You too. And is there anything I could do to help you outside of setting you up on this podcast?
Let me think. How many podcasts do you look after for people?
On our roster, we have about 4 to 5 good
Okay.
quality clients.
Okay. So let's imagine if my goal was to make it so that families continued to stick together. And let's imagine if that goal is through equipping leaders, CEOs, ops managers, that level of people to know how to not have to worry about their marketing because they've got Sugira or they've got Michael or they've got whatever it is that built that system that runs on autopilot. Do you have anyone else who needs the sort of skill set I bring so that we have families just spending more time together?
Yes, I would now I have to think of who. And that's predominantly in, like you say, you have the system autopilot, the skills in terms of the marketing so that they're doing what they're doing and they have that inflow of leads coming through.
That's
Um,
right. It's not that you just go and like, I don't know, make yourself necessary in their business. It's not that. It's that first you show them, oh, do you realize you're not standing out? Okay, you're not standing out. Why are you not standing out? Because you're not coming across as a subject matter expert. You're coming across as needy. So give really insightful, intense, deliberate answers to really hard questions that people that are going to help anyone. And then from there, people will contact you, but it'll be 3 to 6 months later. And so you're showing them here's what you do to be a subject matter expert. And then once they're a subject matter expert, it doesn't matter what tools they're using. Like for me, I get 90 something percent of my leads from LinkedIn just because I throw so much content on LinkedIn of how to do this, how to do that, how to do this. And it's like it doesn't matter whether I'm using LinkedIn or I could throw stacks of money at Google Ads or something. But it as long as you reach the right people with the answers to their questions, you win. So anyone you've got who needs something like that taught to their people, even if they're outside my niche, I don't care. I just want people. You know what my why is. I want my why to happen. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. Cool. Okay. I will have a look at our roster and see how I could be able to be of service to you as well.
I appreciate that, mate. We're changing the world. Okay. Anyone who's got that backstory that you've got of Rwanda and all that stuff, and I get that that is the headlines. I get there's 47 things under that you don't have time to go into. That might be a story for another day or over coffee or something one day. But it's like, I think what you're doing is amazing. Okay. I really do. It's like people need what you have. And in all the stuff that you've said, could I give you one thing that I think impacted me more than anything else you said? Okay. One thing, and you can work out how you're going to use this, is that you explain the how, you explain this is the best time in history for all that stuff. What you did is you said there's no gatekeepers there. And then the implication of that is there is nothing stopping you influencing 1 million people next year. That's the implication. That's right. So on your website or on your marketing, or even in your face to faces with people, if you go, there is nothing stopping you. There's literally no barrier between you and 1 million people next year. People are going to be like, Sugira, book me in. That's what they're going to be like. Because that's everyone's dream, to have influence, right? So
I
yeah,
love
that
it.
use it, mate. It's all yours. All right, you have a
Yeah.
good one. It's been great meeting you.
Thank you so much. See you later.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're gonna love that one.